Hello everyone. Start with Damien and we'll go to George and then Luke, please.
Eddie, in the context of the week you've had, how big a win was that?
Yeah, huge win for us. Huge. I think players have done really well this week to recover from the Arsenal game in the way that they have, and the speed, to put that game to the back of our minds and to refocus on two hugely important games, Champions League, to get our season going in that competition, and then of course the importance of the Premier League. It's such an important competition for us. We've maintained very good standards the last few years. We needed to maintain them. So at home, I thought it was vital we won today.
And you've talked in recent weeks about needing to rediscover that ability to win when you've perhaps not been at your best. It was a bit of a grind for at times today. That must have placed you as well.
Yeah, I thought it was a good performance today. I think tough opponents, defended very deep, a lot of men behind the ball. We had to be patient. I thought played some really good football in both halves. I thought the second half we played a lot quicker and a lot more dynamic, and we asked more questions of them, and eventually we got rewarded for that. But I thought we controlled the game in both halves. I can't really ask any more of the players.
Thanks, Damien. George?
Hi.
I know it's just two games, but it's also the same 11 you've played in terms of sort of attacking stats today. Much improved from averages over previous games. Do you feel closer to sort of unlocking the formula, unlocking the problems that you've had?
I'm always reluctant to say yes. I think we're hopefully on our way to improving that side of our game. I think there's more to come. I like the balance of the team today, and I like the balance of the team on Wednesday. That's why I decided to stick with the team again. And I thought there's a little bit of fatigue in our performance. Don't think we look physically as good as we can, but I think that's understandable. There's a mental load, there's a physical load that we gave in midweek, there's a travelling, there's all sorts of things. But the group are always so professional and so hungry to win. I think that got us over the line in the end.
And there's never been kind of questions about what you've got in the dressing room at the moment. I mean, this time a year ago things were very difficult and different for different reasons. What you've got at the moment is pretty special.
Yeah, I think with the group of players we have, it's very special, and I think they've done so well for me for a consistent period of time. They've done so well for the club. I think they've represented the club really well in all sorts of different ways. But nothing stays the same. You always have to prove yourself again and again and again. That's the beauty of football. It's the beauty of a new season starting, and we're well aware of that what happened last year is now history. And now we have to try and create more history and new history, and we're determined to try and do that if we can. We give it our best shot. Today was a big step forward in returning our confidence levels to where they were from last year.
Thanks, George. Go to Luke, then Lee and Keith, please.
You said your team needed to add goals from other areas rather than striker, and that's a brilliant strike from Bruno. It's a very clever finish as well, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, he's capable of that. He's done that for us over the years. I think he is a goal threat when we get him higher up the pitch, and I think that's the key thing for Bruno, is to, because he wants the ball so much, he'll always follow the ball, and that's such a strength. But it's at times trying to get him to anticipate where the ball might arrive in the box, and today was a different kind of goal to that. It was a brilliant long range finish, and as I say, he's capable of doing those things. But he will be judged upon that more, being a number 8 higher up the pitch, the goals and assists. And it's great to see him. He's been such a dependable player. He's been such a leader for us in terms of standards and how we should all conduct ourselves. I'm delighted for him.
And you can see why Nick wanted to take those penalties on Wednesday as well with that finish.
It's ironic, isn't it, after Wednesday that we get another one, and he gets his opportunity to take one, and that big moment for us, because we'd had so many chances in that second half. We hadn't scored the second goal, and with every chance that you miss, you're wondering when that second goal or if it will come. And big moment. I thought he showed real composure and confidence, and a great sign for him that he was able to do that in that pressure moment.
Thank you.
Thank you. Lee?
You know what that journey is like to South Korea. Bruno's now going to go and do it with his country, that Joel. So it's going to be some journey.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm not going with him. Yeah, we had a quick chat at the end of the game. I mean, what those players do that play for their countries, that have to travel those kind of distances, is, I know it sounds easy. You're going to play for your country, you're going to fly halfway across the world, and it's a privilege, and don't get me wrong, that the players know that, but it is hard. It is hard on their brains, their bodies. But what I love about those two individual players is when they come back to us after those journeys, they come back with such a passion to play for the club again. They're pleased to be with their teammates, and they're really focused on what we need to do. They're not sort of reflecting back on what they've just done. Incredible people, and I hope they return safely and in the condition that they've left.
Lewis Hall not available today. Have you got any more on that?
Yeah, he felt his hamstring against Union, which was a real blow for us. We've been trying to manage him back, as I said on Friday, I think. Unfortunately, just felt something in that game. We've had it scanned. Before we get conclusive evidence of how long he'll be out, he needs another rescan in about 10 days, I think it is. So it's not going to be a short-term injury. We hope it's not going to be a long-term injury, but we sort of don't know yet.
Keith?
Any in terms of next year, do you think 4 and 6 for I know it's early days, but is he almost like this ahead of schedule? Have you got more from him than you could have almost expected in these early days, given the pressure?
Yeah, I mean, it's a difficult one to answer that because we expected a lot from him when we signed him because we believe in him. And we believe that he can make the transition from another league to this. But in saying that, it's still so difficult to do with no training, thrust straight in, hardly knew his teammates' names, and then he's playing. And then you're judged instantly on whether you're going to be a success or failure, and that's tough. And he's made such a positive impression around the training ground with his interactions with staff and with players. And then he's delivered on the pitch, so I think under big pressure he's done very, very well. And I think today was arguably his best game, not so much first half but second half. I thought he was all action, he was where he needed to be, he was getting chances to score, and of course he scored the penalty, so really pleased for him.
Jake Ramsey wasn't involved there, you said on Friday that you were hoping that you would have. What's the situation?
Yeah, he's good. JJ's trained for 2 days. I just made the decision that I didn't want to risk him and potentially set him back again, so I wanted to give him the 2 weeks, the international break, to make sure he's ready for the next game.
Thank you. Go to Jordan, Craig, and then Daniel, please.
Yeah, you mentioned the Nick penalty there. What did you make of the technique? And this is the best you've ever seen with Gallagher.
I don't know how many I've seen. Yeah, I mean the technique's his. I don't know. It's a difficult moment for me because I just want to see the net ripple. I just want to see him score. I don't really care how it gets there. Obviously, there's better ways than others, and that was a spectacular one, really. As long as he scores in those moments, that's all that matters.
Yeah, you missed 2 chances before the penalty, but you must be really pleased that you showed that confidence to see it back very last penalty in the top corner.
Yeah, I was just pleased that he was getting chances in the game and he was involved in that phase of play. It sounds obvious, but goal scorers will miss chances. But you just back them. If they keep getting a lot, they will score a lot. I love the way he wanted to take the penalty in the way that he did. It wasn't I'm taking it, but it was I want to take it because I believe I can score and make the difference for the team. And I think he's very team-led. He's not thinking about himself, and that's also a great quality to have.
Yes.
Thank you, Craig.
It's 5 clean sheets out of 9 so far this season. The first 2 were with Dan and Fabian Scher. The last 3 have been with Malik and Sven. Did you expect the central pairing to make that evolution so quickly and just talk about who was in possession now? Because I think we looked at the start of the season, you thought it was going to be Dan and Fabian for perhaps the foreseeable.
Well, that's why you should never think too much because football. Well, but yeah, I understand it's not just you, but football changes so quickly. So I can say I'm really pleased with Sven and Malik. I think they've done very, very well together. I thought they could play together, but you need to see it work. But it doesn't mean anything other than the fact that they've done very well to this point. Who knows what's going to happen in the future? Fabi's very important. Dan's very, very important because he's sort of played 2 roles, and now with injuries to Lewis and Tino, that takes even more importance on. But you've got Jamal Lascelles, Emil Kraft. We've got some very, very good defenders who have done well for us, and any of those players can play, and it's up to those guys that have the shirt to keep playing well.
Just a quick word on Anthony Lang out against his former club today. How do you think he fared? You took him off there midway through the second half, and at this point in the international break, how would you reflect on his sort of first 9 games?
Yeah, I think it's been a good start for him. I think he's different to players we've had in that position previously, and I think in some respects, when someone plays the role differently, you have to get used to how they play it. He's a threat. Every opposition team we've played against will have felt his threat in the game, and in some respects that helps us in other ways, and maybe ways we don't really realise yet. He can get better and improve, which is no surprise because there's so much more to come. but I'm very, very pleased with how he's interacting with his teammates, how he's helping the team, and yeah, I see the best yet to come.
Thank you. Daniel, Scott, and then to Don, please.
Eddie, just on Nick Baltimore again, how much is he getting used to the pace of the Premier League? Because of course in his first game he went off with a bit of cramp, so is he now getting up to sort of the physical fitness level that you'd like him to be at?
Yeah, I think he's definitely improved. I think there's more to come. I think today was his best physical look, because I thought he was stronger in the second half, and he was still going strong really when he came off the pitch. There's an element that I still want to try and protect him and keep him fit, and don't want to push him too hard where he breaks. But we can get him fitter. And again, we're probably doing that through the games at the moment rather than any training or extra training. So I think there's a lot more to come.
And we know this team can feed on momentum. It's happened in the past. So how important was it to build on Wednesday night's win with another win today? It
was huge, and I think we've done really well at building on winning streaks and runs and backing up performances with another one. That's what we're going to have to do to be successful this year. The competition is so difficult. The Premier League, I mean, Forest came here today, they put a lot of men behind the ball, they made it very difficult. No one makes it easy for you. You still have to find a way to navigate that and end up winning the game, and we did. We hadn't done that enough at other stages this season. Hopefully that's a bit of a turning point for us.
Scott?
Just off the back of what Craig was saying on the defence, and on Sven in particular, I mean, there's been, we talk a lot about all the signings that have come in this summer. Clearly Sven's not a new signing, and yet in a funny kind of way it almost feels like he is, because he's had 2 years really where we've not seen a lot of him, and yet we're kind of getting a reminder now of just how good he was back then. I mean, how good is he? And I mean, if you've been trying to sign Sven Botman now, you almost certainly couldn't get him. So how much of a bonus is it to have him now back to where he was?
Yeah, I think it's a very good question, and probably one that isn't highlighted enough, because when we lost him, I was really down about that, because we'd lost an outstanding player, character, person, but distributor of the ball. Short and long range. He brought the other side of the pitch into play a lot when we were under pressure, and we lost that from our game, and that was a huge blow. Not only that, he's a man mountain. He's a physical beast, which in this league you need, and I thought we catered really well with his absence. I thought Dan Burn in particular was absolutely magnificent. But Sven's got qualities that Dan doesn't have, and vice versa. They're both very different players. It's great to see them now in the same team, still contributing in the way that they are, and Sven can hopefully from this moment still improve and get back to his very, very highest levels, because there's not many I'd look to swap him with if he's at his best.
After losing 2 full-backs this past week, you've got a few players, Dan Burn and Neil Cock, who Trippier can play in those positions. Is there anyone else? You've got a few versatile defenders, wingers who potentially slot in absence of Tino.
There's not too many options, I wouldn't say. I haven't got a rabbit in the hat that probably you wouldn't have thought of. It's a concern for us because it's such a key position. I think Dan's played really well the last 2 games there. But yeah, we've got players that can switch sides. That is difficult. I think Tino Livramento made it look very easy, but it's very difficult to do. Some players probably feel more comfortable doing that than others. I've got Alex Murphy, who's developing all the time, who can play that role for us. But beyond that, I don't think we have too many others.
Okay. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.